Hey guys, welcome to the Diet Doc Life Mastery Podcast. I'm Joe Klemczewski, founder of the Diet Doc, here with Dr. Kori Propst, our VP and Wellness Director. And Kori, this is kind of Lord of the Rings-ish. We're going to talk about gatekeepers of the mind. Gatekeepers of the mind. So I probably need a couple extra gatekeepers of my mind. So help me out.
I think we all do. I've heard this a few different ways. Another way that I've heard this is that we can employ thought bouncers in the mind. Yeah.
Pull them out. Get them out.
We want them big and strong, right? So I heard this Arab proverb and it goes, the words of the tongue should have 3 gatekeepers. And it got me interested. I'm like, well, what's all this about? Because you and I, we've talked a lot about the importance of like not believing every thought that our minds make. This is a really important concept because oftentimes thoughts lead to emotion and feeling, right? And then those emotions can activate behavior. And the risk is that if we believe everything that we think, we're literally being yanked around and run by our unconscious. And
I heard this recently from another source, and I know you talked about it a couple episodes ago, and I'm like, wow, that is really profound, because it made me think how many people don't do that. If you have a thought, you think, well, this has to be true. I must act on this.
Correct. Yes. And that's risky. If you think about the thousands and thousands of thoughts we have per day, just running our lives upon them, it can be very dangerous. We can act very impulsively. And fortunately, we have, our brains have evolved to a place where we don't have to do that. We can operate with greater integrity and forethought and carefulness. But so as I was looking into this proverb, the 3 gatekeepers go like this. They're actually questions that we can ask ourselves to literally wake us up. So that we end up making better, more wise, skillful decisions and actions. So the first is this true? And I'll give you guys an example after I get through what the gatekeepers are. The second one, is it kind? And then the third one is it necessary?
I'm going to write these down.
Yeah. So is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? So here's an example. I'm sitting at the dinner table with Ben, and I ask him a question, and he doesn't say anything. Now, I know Ben well enough at this point in our relationship where he's thinking, he's processing, he's putting all of the dots together. He's an engineer. He's very cerebral, very intellectual. This is where he operates, right here. My thought initially in our relationship was, he's ignoring me. I take it real personally, right? He's ignoring me. Now, if I had acted on that, like, what's that lead to? That leads to a sense of aggravation, irritation. Like, now I'm getting a little bit angry and hurt. What does it lead to? Me possibly asking him another question, which in Ben's brain is like, whoa, does not compute. Like, that's too much at one time. I'm still trying to come up with the answer for the first freaking question. So now it can possibly lead to agitation on his part, which creates more for me. I mean, it's spiral effect.
Two more steps and there's going to be a murder.
Oh, it could get very ugly here. So if I employed the first gatekeeper to the thought, he's ignoring me, is it true? I can't say with absolute certainty that that's true. I don't know that. So no, the answer is no. Is it kind? No, it's not kind at all. It's blaming him for something that I have no evidence for at all. Is it necessary? Nope, not necessary at all. Okay, this is something that I do not need to act on. I don't need to believe. This thought is erroneous. It's distorted in a lot of ways. And so what it allows us to do is pause, change the game a little bit and say, okay, what would be a wiser action here? The other thing that I thought about, Joe, is we could actually change the second gatekeeper to whatever we wanted it to be aligned with a different moral strength. For example, instead of is it kind, we could insert is it curious.
You can't start changing proverbs.
I can.
Get it way above your pay grade.
Power. Curious that's a big one for me, and it's helped me in a lot of ways in my life. Is it curious? Is it temperate? Is it courageous? Is it loving? Because those are how I want to be with him. So each one of us could kind of decide, like, what are the values and strengths that we want to bring into our lives, and use one or many of those as gatekeepers.
Yeah, this reminds me. Well, yeah, this reminds me. I was watching Bill Maher, the HBO satirist, political satirist, and just as part of his show, he said something about those three little words that should be at the forefront of every relationship, and it's not "I love you," it's "let it go." Like if you want to survive in a relationship, those are your three words: let it go. Because of exactly what you said. If you just think everything is an attack or everything is true, or you will absolutely trip.
You hear too, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean you roll over and that nothing matters and that there aren't going to be tough conversations and things to kind of hash out together as couples, but it does kind of bring you back to what's important here. Another thing that I use, Joe, for myself is, and this is maybe simpler, it's just one question, is, is this in my service? Is this in the service of our relationship? No. Okay. Let's reframe then. Let's change the thought. Let's give the person the benefit of the doubt. But I have some clients right now because I work with a lot of people who they come to me because they struggle with binge eating. And something that we're doing right now is we view any thought that defies or challenges their healthy intentions, their goals, their aspirations, the practices that they're engaged in, or their values, as neurological misfirings. It's like, all they have to do is look at them as, that's not me. That's not me. That's not my voice. That's not connected in any way to how I want to show up in the world, what I want to aspire to as, the best human being I can be. So when we view them in this way, we've got this, it's easier to separate from them, right? That's the food demon, or that's the pig, whatever we want to call it. It's not me. So for those who are losing weight, who may have outlined certain rules for themselves, for example, like I track my food intake every day. Any voice that pops up and says, don't worry about it, you could do that. You can do that in the morning. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't do it this evening. Whatever voice gets in the way and tries to convince them that they don't need to engage in the behavior that they've already said is very important to them, and they have all these reasons and they've outlined the benefits why, it's not them. And one of my clients calls that the purple alien. She gave it that name. She's a writer, she's super creative. She's like, that's the purple alien. So physiologically, the purple alien it's the threat detecting part of the brain. It's the reptilian brain, the oldest part of the brain that isn't concerned with our long-term goals and aspirations and how we want to show up in the world. And it doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about our sense of agency and power and control. It does not care. All it cares about is immediate pleasure, right? And survival. So when the purple alien for my client is trying to get control, all she has to do to shut it up is say, okay, you want that, alien. I do not. This is what I want.
Well, to personify that, it really creates a mental hook. Otherwise, it's just abstract and conceptual. So I think that's amazing.
Exactly.
So just to center back on when this is applicable, as you said, every thought isn't true. Every thought isn't something we have to impulsively act on.
Yes.
So it's probably when we're uncomfortable. Like you were having that situation, like you said, with Ben, and you're like, okay, wait a second. I may be misinterpreting this, but I'm not comfortable. It doesn't look like he's comfortable. So then you go through those 3 gatekeeper questions, which is it true? Is it kind? Is it, I can't read my handwriting. Is it necessary?
Yeah.
So excellent. Good stuff. I feel a new tattoo coming on. I like that. Like that proverb.
Nice.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching, listening, Kori. That was amazing. I love that. And we're going to catch you guys next time. We've got a couple more great ones planned right on the heels of this. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time in the Life Mastery Podcast.
Thanks, guys.